evening and welcome. The October 8th, 2024 meeting of the Jackson Township Council will now come to order. Councilman Borelli?
Here.
Councilman Bernstein?
Here.
Councilman Chisholm?
Here.
Council Vice President Sargent?
Present.
And Council President Q.
Here.
As clerk of this meeting, I hereby publicly announce that compliance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been advertised in the manner prescribed by law. Move on to our proclamations for this evening. Council President Q.
Councilman Borelli is going to read the Library Week, please.
Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome.
This proclamation is from the Township of Jackson, whereas the Friends of the Library raise money that enables our library to move from good to great, providing the resources for additional programming, much-needed equipment, support for children's summer reading, and special events throughout the year. And whereas the work of the Friends highlights on an ongoing basis the fact that our library is the cornerstone of the community, providing opportunities for all to engage in the joy of lifelong learning and connect with the thoughts and ideas of others from ages past and present. Whereas the Friends understand the critical importance of well-funded libraries and advocate to ensure that our library gets the resources it needs to provide a wide variety of services to all ages, including access to print and electronic materials, along with expert assistance in research, readers, advisory, and children's services. And whereas the Friends' gift of their time and commitment to the library sets an example for all in how volunteerism leads to positive civic engagement in the betterment of our community. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Michael Reyna, Mayor of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, along with the Jackson Township Council, hereby proclaims October 20th to 26, 2024, as National Friends of Libraries Week in the Township of Jackson, and urge everyone to join the Friends of the Library and thank them for all they do to make our library and community so much better. Is there someone here from?
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you. Yeah. Is Jessica Ferretti here? Hi, Jessica. Your proclamation's up now. I'm just going to begin. Whereas October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, let it be known that Jackson Township is pleased to recognize and observe October 13th, 2024 as Autistic Breast Cancer Awareness Day, and hereby recognize the Medivivor Light Up NBC national campaign. And whereas there is a global Light Up NBC campaign on October 13th every year to illuminate over 117 landmarks in the metastastic colors teal, green, and pink throughout the world, bringing awareness to disease and to honor the daily number of 117 lives lost to MBC. The day will culminate in a viral broadcast, Light Up NBC Live, to commemorate landmarks lightings around the country, sharing inspiration stories by metastatic breast cancer community and raise research funds. And whereas the pink ribbon is well known for representing the fight against the early stage of breast cancer, it is non-inclusive to stage 4. Therefore, the metastatic breast cancer awareness tricolor ribbon includes teal, green, and pink. The teal color portrays healing and spirituality. Green portrays the triumph in spirit, spring over winter, life over death, renewal, hope, and immortality. And the thin pink overlay signifies that the cancer originated in the breast. And whereas breast cancer is the most common type of cancer among women in the world, and second leading cause of cancer of death among women in the United States. More than 1 in 8 women and 1 in 833 men in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetimes. In 2024, an estimated 313,510 Americans will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer, and whereas metastatic breast cancer occurs when the breast cancer spreads to the other parts of the body, including the bones, lungs, liver, and brain, and has an average life expectancy of 2 to 3 years. Regardless of early detection, approximately 30% of stage 0 to 3 breast cancers will return as stage 4. An estimated 42,780 Americans will die from breast cancer in 2024, equal to 117 women and men per day, with 98% due to metastatic breast cancer. And whereas the national organization Medivivor Research and Support funds critical stage 4 metastatic breast cancer research, educates the public about metastatic breast cancer and the lack of funding for stage 4 treatment. The aim to dramatically increase the current percentage of U.S. breast cancer research dollars from under 5% to 30% for the already medicalized patient. The national hashtag for this initiative on social media falls under hashtag #MedASurvivor and LightUpMBA. And whereas metastatic breast cancer affects all races and classes. White Caucasian women see slightly higher incident rates of breast cancer. The mortality rate for Black women with breast cancer is 40% higher than Caucasian women, and the breast cancer is a leading cause of cancer among Hispanic women. Now, therefore, I, Michael Reyna, Mayor of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, along with the Jackson Township Council, hereby encourage citizens to join the national efforts towards awareness of metastatic breast cancer during October and illuminate landmarks in the colors of teal, green, and pink on October 13th. If you could come up and receive your proclamation. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
We will continue with opening comments from Township Council. Council President Cuny.
Yes, okay. All right, so first, trunk or treat. Bartley Healthcare asked me just to announce October 11th from 4:30 to 6:30. They're going to have a trunk or treat, so if anybody would like to attend. I also really want to get into, as I do, I want to give our DPW Supervisor Sean Belinsky received an achievement for Jackson Township for having recycling rates over 50%. Jackson Township came in at 54%, which I believe it's a very good thing for our town. It helps us get more grants, so congratulations. The fire department wanted to let everybody know on October 13th from 11 to 3 p.m. you can go and get your smoke alarms tested. They're also going to have things for the kids, bouncy house, hay rides, EMS vehicles, fire vehicles, U.S. Coast Guard, helicopter. They're going to be putting out fires, hot dogs, and ice cream. So, love that. October 13th again. Now let's get into the stuff that I always love to talk about. Oh, they're also having, it's going to be an open house. So anybody, it's open to everybody, and it's on 465 North County Line Road. Okay, so traffic. We had a conversation with our traffic safety, our director, a bunch of people, and DPW went out and marked 50 streets. We started with the 0 to the 50. We did the corners. Sergeant Hemba had compiled a list of the worst streets that had the worst parking, up to stop signs, parking the wrong way, all of those lovely things. So what I'm going to do is there was 4 streets that came back when DPW went, and there was cars marked to the stop sign, and were not able to even mark them. Went back, I followed up. Those cars did get they didn't get tickets. They got warnings on them with the brochure of Title 39. They went back, those cars were moved, and we were able to mark those sidewalks. So now you will see a red marking. Unfortunately, Christian's not here, but he did have all of the pictures for us. And thank you. So there, thank you, Anthony. So we have the red marking. So you see that marking. I can go over the streets that are, I could whiz through them really quick. East Connecticut, Vermont Avenue, Wood Lane, Ashford. Again, these are going to be on the corners. Harmony, Bryant, Louisiana, New Hampshire, Louisiana and Brookwood, Alaska, Oregon, Brookwood, and Arizona, Xavier, Quincy, Dartmouth, Rutgers, Drexel, Dartmouth, Bates, Ashford, Hartfield, Fox, Deer, Hartfield again, Neal, a lot of Hartfield, Sunnywood, Meadowwood, Birch Drive, West Commodore, North, let's see, Birmingham, Newcastle, Westminster, Chelsea, Winchester, Cambridge, Buckingham, Cliffwood, Hampshire, Boulevard, Piccadilly, Knightsbridge. There's a couple more. If you want to know if your street, I have no problem. If you email and ask, I can hopefully get that information. But we will continue to do streets that are having problems, but you will see the marking. So if you see that red marking, you can't park before that, okay? That's Title 39. Title 39, before that, you can't park. The next phase will be 51 to 100, which is off of county roads, which will indicate if you need a permit to park there and you have to live within that, the radius of that property. Next, I just am going to speak really loud about this because it's absolutely, I called a resident that lived on the street, and I apologized on behalf of all of us for inconsiderateness in our driving, that you were going on Patterson Road, okay? Patterson Road is a 35 mile an hour. How it's 35 mile, I'm going to be emailing the administrator because we do have an elementary school and a middle school on there. The maximum speed was 95 miles an hour. 95 miles an hour. Let that sink in. We've had 72, now we have 95 miles an hour on elementary and middle school. It's absolutely made me sick. I don't even drive on the parkway at 95 miles an hour. So this is insane. And I don't know how we have a 35 mile an hour road. Hopefully maybe Candido, Director Candido, you can assist with that. 95 miles an hour. We're getting complaints on this and they're yelling and they're screaming. And I'm like, oh, we had a road 95. Just let that sink in if you lived on that road with your children and your elementary school kids and your middle school kids that you want to walk to school, okay, on Patterson Road and have cars going 95 miles an hour. It's sickening, okay? Then we're going to go to Bryant. We had another complaint. Now, this is all coming into traffic safety. This is what's great about having the traffic safety email, and again, it's trafficsafety@jacksontownshipnewjersey.net. You can come and you can, at least you're getting an answer. There's 7 people, again, I'm going to say it, that's on that email, and at least your voice is being heard. I know that on Facebook, people are like, nobody hears me. People do hear you. And, you know, our division is now down to 3 people, okay? Just remember that. Our town is 101 miles mile per square miles, thanks. I'm sorry, I just get very passionate about this because it's actually safety for you and your kids and everyone. And we're down to 3 people in traffic safety, and none on the weekends, just to let you know. Next one's Bryant. We all know where Bryant Drive is, right? 25 miles an hour. People are going down that road 57 miles an hour. I'll take that over 95, but 57 miles an hour in a neighborhood that, you know, used to have an elementary school over there. I mean, you have kids over there, you have kids on bikes, you have kids in the summer, they want to go and play. It's not fair. I'm sorry. You hear these parents' screams and yells and stuff like that, but it's really, really saddening when you have somebody going 95 miles an hour down the street. On a positive from the email that we have, traffic safety, a resident had, again, reached out and said, hey, listen, you know, it's a Melissa Lee Drive, which I've done traffic reports on. She said, listen, thank you, it's getting better, but people are still speeding down. Is there any way, we're a 25 mile an hour street, we don't have any signage. Like, there's not enough signage. I know you can't get us illuminated ones, but can you get us any signage? Forward that to our DPW department, and she sent that at Sunday at 10:59 p.m. By Monday at 11 a.m., Mr. Belinsky had replied that it has been taken care of and told her that there was a sign on her street. So that's a little bit of a positive and a negative in the other aspects, but we are trying to work on it. And I just wanted you guys to really have it sink in, the speed that you guys are doing and how everybody, it's 7 days a week, okay? It's everybody. We just really need to be conscious of this, and we really need to, you know, love our neighbors and our kids and the people playing, and you can't be driving 95 miles an hour on a school with elementary and a middle school. You should be ashamed of yourself. Thank you, and have a great night.
Thank you. Council Vice President Sargent.
Good evening. I'd just like to say, number one, get out the vote. It's imperative that you vote. I'd hate to see you be the person that didn't go out and vote and then your candidate lost. That's number one. Number two, there's a question, Ms. Kuhn, again, were any tickets given out when they were checking those speeds.
When they were checking, what do you mean? In the ordinance tickets?
95
No.
miles an hour.
No, because it was, this is a machines that are put out for 7 days, so they track them, and then the data goes back to traffic safety, and now that report is sent to our township engineer from our traffic safety, and they are going to start looking at it, and obviously examining that road. I did have I will bring up, now that you brought that up, I did call the 2 people that had put the reports in, because that's what I do. I call, follow up, and say, hey, listen, I just wanted to personally just let you know we did get your report. I'll email it like promised, but I just, here it is. And one of the gentlemen actually had said, and I don't know if we have to do, and again, this is going to be an email to administration, is rubber speed bumps. Everybody asks for speed bumps. I get speed bump requests that I forward out all the time. I don't know if that's a possible solution. Again, that's going to be in the engineer's hands. If somebody's doing 95 miles an hour and they don't know that a speed bump was moved, and you just have a sign, and you're not reading the speed sign, and you're going 95 miles an hour, you're going to end up in a ditch. So I don't, if that's like, that's the God's honest truth. It's 95 miles an hour is just insane on a road, but.
Okay, thank you.
So I don't know of any tickets, but thank you.
And have a good evening.
Thank you. Councilman Borelli?
Thank you, Clerk Moss. Council President, thank you for sharing that, the speeding and traffic information. It really needs to stop in our town. Public health and safety of our residents, especially, of course, children, always needs to be protected. The annual Wounded Warrior Escort that Mayor Reyna hosts is this Saturday, starting at 9:30 a.m. Veterans start assembling at 9 a.m. It starts off in the police department parking lot in the Justice Complex. People can safely park along West Veterans Highway between Jackson Drive and South Stump Tavern Road to show our support for our country's heroes as they are escorted to the Wounded Warrior event at the Central Jersey Rifle and Pistol Club. It's a wonderful event for men and women who sacrifice so much for us and to defend our great country. And to all in our town who observed and celebrated Rosh Hashanah and who will with Yom Kippur starting this Friday, October 11th, enjoy. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Councilman Bernstein?
Thank you, Ms. Moss. So first of all, Council President, I was taking a walk on one day this week, and I actually saw DPW out there making those lines, so I wasn't able to take a picture myself, but I was very excited, and I took a walk around the block. They were up to block number 3 already, so they were moving very fast, and I appreciate it. Thank you to DPW, thank you to the PD, and I'm sure we'll continue to see more streets marked off. My understanding that the streets that they started with were the streets that had the highest level of complaints and priority?
Correct.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Secondly, I also wanted to just also commend DPW and administration. I got an email about Valley Road, which I right away forwarded to Mr. Wall and to Mr. Belinsky, and within 6 hours, there was signage put out there also that the town had. Obviously, hopefully signage is not necessary, but that's a step in the right direction, so we appreciate that. Also, I got a message, an email about 15, 20 minutes ago from one of the county commissioners letting me know an update. The South New Prospect, they did the initial stage. They're going to be doing the striping and finishing the widening, hopefully by the end of October, so that project is moving forward, so we're very excited to see that. I also just wanted to take a moment and really thank Jackson EMS. I see a representative here for staying on top of their game and making sure that we can continue to work together and keep the lights on in Jackson EMS. Thank you for your hard work. Have a good night.
Thank you. Councilman Chisholm?
Good evening, everybody. So to follow up on Councilman Borelli, there is the Wounded Warrior Parade. It is a great event, so if you know some veterans that are in the area that can be participating, that parade has gotten a little smaller in recent years, and it is a great event. So I've been out there on the side of the road waving flags at them and participating since I've been on council, but it is a great event, and I'd like to see more of our heroes take part in that if you have the opportunity. Of course, I always like to see our Support the Library Week. It's a good thing. If you are not a member and you don't already have your card, it's free. Bring your kids out there. Instill lifelong learning. It's very important. It's good to see everybody, they watch their TV and their movies and all their little games, but you're going to get so much more out of a book, and they're not learning the things that they used to learn in school, so you really need to take it upon yourself to educate your children so they understand our history and our great country. So I certainly encourage you to take part in that. 2 days ago, they commemorated, because it wasn't really a celebration, the anniversary of the terrorist attack in Israel. And while that is still an ongoing situation, I don't believe that situation would be occurring if we didn't have Carter 2.0 in office. Unfortunately, we have terrorists that are still holding American citizens, and due to the incompetence of this administration, who are currently asking for your support for more years and more incompetence, our enemies do not fear us, and their behavior, whether they're abandoning our troops and allies in Afghanistan, or our allies in Israel, or our own citizens in Israel, that needs to stop. And basically, re-electing Kamala Harris and Mr. Walz would be a terrible mistake. If Mr. Biden is so incompetent and he's not able to run for office again, he should be removed from office. So I would call on Senator Cory Booker to do his job, because he was one of the ones mouthing off about President Trump not being able to do his job. Why has he not invoked the 25th Amendment? Why is Mr. Biden still in office? Is he still in office? Where is he, honestly? If he's out having ice cream every day, that's great, but you know what? Have him removed. He's a danger to America and our allies. People often complain all the time, and rightfully so, why do we have such lousy candidates for office at all levels? And you can really, if you look at Biden and Harris, I mean, they're the most incompetent people that have ever sat in the White House, so it doesn't really surprise you, right? But when only 20% of New Jerseyans show up at an election and do their constitutional duty as citizens, what do you expect? Who's going to show up? Who wants to do it? Who wants to take the abuse? Quite frankly, we have lots of very competent, professional men and women across America that would serve in school boards, on daises like this across America. They would serve in Congress. They would serve anywhere they could, because they want to see what's best for their town, for their city, for their state, for their nation. But who needs basically the BS, right? To put it as polite as you can. Who needs to be criticized? Who wants to have to go up and maybe defend your wife or your own honor? Who wants to deal with that nonsense that goes on behind the scenes? Who wants to have their children listen to their parents being slandered? That's why good people refuse to run and do not get involved. And of course, we should be changing that, and we should all, because we should be ashamed. I'm actually really kind of sad, because I mean, it's not unusual. I've seen it for 50 years growing up here in Jackson. There's always some kind of nonsense when it gets to be political season, and you see stupid things in the paper. We badmouth each other. Yeah, attack the person's politics, attack their policies. But why does it have to get personal? It's ridiculous, right? And we play childish games, and you've seen it on Facebook, and I've seen it actually in person. So people stealing signs of their opponent, really, is that necessary? Is that necessary? Hiding other people's signs and putting your sign in front of that? No, I'm not accusing anybody here at the dais, but I would have liked to have seen my fellow council members denounce the individuals that are their supporters that are doing that kind of crap. Listen, there's no need for that. These are your friends, your neighbors. Eventually, you have to work with them. You have to live with them. You can disagree with their policies, but that's the kind of childish behavior and infighting that just gets us nowhere. We're all here to do a job. If you think you're doing a better job than the other person, criticize that person, attack their policies, not their character. That's how you get better people in office. That's how you're going to get rid of people like Walz and Harris and all the clowns that are destroying this nation. So if you, like me, like Jackson, and you love New Jersey, and you love America, then you should go up there and do something about that. So you see those shenanigans, you stop them. God bless America. Have a great night.
Thank you. Need a motion to approve executive session meeting minutes of September 24th, 2024.
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bernstein?
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm?
Yes.
Council Vice President Sargent?
Abstain.
And Council President Kuhn.
Yes.
Move on to consideration of ordinances, public hearing, and final consideration. This is the second reading of ordinance 32-24 entitled, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Jackson County of Ocean State of New Jersey establishing and creating a self-insurance fund with respect to health benefits in accordance with NJSA 48:10-1. This ordinance was introduced on September 24th, 2024. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion to open?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone State your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Seeing no one come forward, I make a motion to close public comment.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
This third reading of ordinance 32-24 entitled an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, establishing and creating a self-insurance fund with respect to health benefits in accordance with NJSA 40A:10-1. I need a motion to adopt on third and final reading and advertise according to law.
Motion?
Second?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bernstein?
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm?
Yes.
Council Vice President Sargent?
Yes.
And Council President Cube?
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance's first reading. Council President, are there any comments regarding ordinance 33-24?
Yes. The council has proposed an ordinance that aims to amend and supplement our municipal code, specifically Chapter 244, which pertains to land use and development regulations in the Township of Jackson. This amendment focuses on residential density standards within the highway commercial mixed-use zone, also known as HCMU. The only change proposed in this ordinance is to revise the maximum number of dwelling units permissible in this zone to 4 units per usable acre as opposed to 4 units per gross acreage, which would triple the allowable units. This adjustment is designated to better align our residential development standards with the needs of our community while promoting responsible and smart growth in the areas designed for mixed-use development.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ordinance 33-24 entitled an ordinance of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the municipal code of the Township of Jackson so as to amend Chapter 244 entitled Land Use and Development Regulations so as to revise residential density standards in the highway commercial mixed-use zone. I need a motion to approve ordinance 33-24 on first reading and to authorize the notice of approval and public hearing to be held on October 22nd, 2024.
So moved.
Second?
Councilman Borelli?
Thank you, Clerk Morales. I'm glad to be supporting ordinance 33-24 on tonight's agenda. The ordinance reinforces our commitment as Jackson residents, elected representatives on this council, to stop and protect our town from overdevelopment and high-density housing that will keep our town a suburban community. Development in our town is a big issue and concern we continually hear from many residents on. We'll continue to address it on the council. I always say we can't totally stop or prohibit development, but we can limit and rein in too much of it, reducing the density by zoning ordinance and buying available and valuable land for open space preservation. With this ordinance, we're taking action and getting ahead of it, preventing approximately 800, possibly more housing units from being built between Adventure Crossing and Great Adventure and Jackson, which would detrimentally impact the traffic issues already occurring in that area of our town. With this ordinance, we're limiting the impact to Jackson residents who live in the area and the people who frequent that area of our town by Adventure Crossing and Great Adventure. So our goal in the council will continue to be to protect Jackson's unique environment and abundant resources as best as possible. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Bernstein?
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm?
Yes.
Council Vice President Sargent?
Ms. Kuhn, I have a
Yes, sir.
question.
Yes, Councilman.
President, I don't know if I should ask you or I should ask the township attorney. I guess my question is, I've done my due diligence on this, and my only question that I have is this something that we should refer to the master plan committee, or is it something that is typically done within the council?
I'm going to move forward with it at council and not wait for the master plan.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
all right, thank you. Answer is yes.
Thank you. Council President Cube?
Yes. I'm sorry. Just said that was okay.
Council President Kuhn, are there any comments regarding ordinance 34-24?
Yes. 1 second. So this ordinance is from the fire department. It's the actual original ordinance we're adding. This is the final step. We have to adopt their ordinance in order for the fire department to conclude taking over the continued certificate of occupancies for the township. So it will be out of our building department, and it will be with districts 1 through 4, well, 2, 3, and 4, whatever district you live in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ordinance 34-24, entitled an ordinance amending Chapter 204 of the Township Code with respect to residential smoke, fire, and carbon monoxide inspections. I need a motion to approve ordinance 34-24 on first reading and to authorize the notice of approval and public hearing to be held on October 22nd, 2024.
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bernstein?
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm?
Yes?
Council Vice President Sargent?
Yes.
And Council President Kuhn.
Yes.
We move on to bills and claims. I need a motion to approve or hold.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Councilman Borelli?
Have to abstain on vendor numbers DEL 01, STA 01, STA 20, STA 28, and STA 76. Yes to the rest on there.
Thank you. Councilman Bernstein?
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm?
Abstain on BRI 18, yes to the rest?
Thank you. Council Vice President Sargent?
Yes.
Thank you. Council President Kuhn.
Yes.
Thank you. We move on to consent agenda. Council President, I believe there was an ordinance, resolution that was added. Resolution 351-24. That's entitled Emergency Resolution Authorizing Amendment to the Calendar Year 2024 Municipal Budget pursuant to NJSA 48:4-48 to provide an appropriation to the Jackson Township First Aid Squad in order to protect the public health, safety, and welfare.
Yes, Madam Clerk, so just to give everybody a little bit of update on this. So this is for our EMS, our first aid, our first responders, to keep them up and running. They were running into a little bit of a problem. We've met with them through the business administrator and our chief at the EMS through communication in the last couple of months, open lines of communication between EMS. EMS is looking to go into the fire department and run out of that department. This is just to carry them because I believe that we all want to be safe and be able to have our emergency services in Jackson. If you didn't know, I can tell you, it's not a state law that we have them. It's not mandated. We don't want to lose them. Administration felt that they didn't want to lose them. For the residents of Jackson, for you to feel safe and to have that service available, we are making the accommodations, and the business administrator was nice enough to work with them and get everything done.
Thank you, Council President.
Thank
So
you.
I need a motion for the consent agenda for all resolutions as listed.
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Clerk Moss, first, let me add that I'm glad to be part of voting on some of these resolutions tonight, which give our Police Department, Public Works Department, and EMS Emergency Management Services the tools and resources they need to help them do their jobs and keep our town safe and secure for residents and running efficiently. Yes,
Thank you. Councilman Bernstein?
So again, I just want to echo what I said earlier, but again, thank you to Council President, thank you to Mr. Wall and to the Mayor for working so hard with EMS to get to where we are so they can continue to operate. I vote yes on everything.
Thank you. Councilman Chisholm?
I need to abstain on Resolution 33524, but yes to the rest.
Thank you. Council Vice President Sargent?
Abstaining on R345-24, yes to everything else.
Thank you. And Council President Kuhn?
I just want to add, this was, I speak to the council members before every meeting, and we go over the agenda. And the EMS was something that, Councilman Chisholm did bring to my attention, and I did call the administrator. We worked on it, called EMS. We really, I think, have, grown and worked really, really well together up here. And it's good, it's good to see everybody come together and that we are able to work with our departments and save our EMS and have them on board and work with the fire departments and work with everybody. And also, I just want to bring up, if we have pictures of 348, which is the playgrounds, the jungle gym that we're doing $194,000 in improvements. I know that DPW had said some. So this is yet another park that administration's doing, and we're bringing to Jackson Township. This is Jackson Jungle. Just want to go and show where, this is all good stuff that's happening. Work very hard. Administration works very hard with DPW. And I've seen them out there going, because I'm constantly all around town, but having meetings out there and going and bringing this to the residents and the children and activities to the town. So I vote yes on everything. And again, it's been, great working with everybody, and it's fun. So thank you.
Thank you. We move on to the public comments on any topic. I need a motion to open the public portion of this meeting for all comments.
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, if any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone. State your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Evening, everyone. Donnie Edelman, Willow Point Drive. I sent everybody on this board, on this dais, an email the other day, and in retaliation for it, that corrupt SOB right there.
Sir,
sent
language. Sir,
I
language.
promise you that's it.
Thank you.
Sent 4 police officers to my home to issue multiple citations. You have a police force that is not, well, doing their job. They, personal vehicles exhibit multiple motor vehicle violations in regards to front windshields, their window being tinted, their front side windows being tinted, no front license plate, expired or missing inspection stickers. These were not being replaced. Plus, they also have the clear license plate covers over their cars, over their license plates, so that they don't have to pay tolls, photo enforcement of radar if they're traveling in an area that has photo enforcement of radar, or red light cameras. Before I came in, I made note of who up on this dais is driving around in a vehicle that meets such standards as well. And rest assured, because no one stopped the police from retaliation, that I'm going to have to go in as a citizen and file complaints against whoever's on this board for, well, not driving a legal vehicle, front window tints. You know, you got a nice $34,000 pay bump a few months ago. It's kind of disheartening, Mr. President, Council President, that you don't feel like you should pay tolls. It's kind of really bad that you don't feel that you should pay tolls, because that's the only reason you have those filters on your car. Now, while I would like to ask a few questions, when we have Jackson Day, I know that you make a special ordinance. I'm not really sure what you call it. Yeah, you know I'm right, because I'm going to go after Officer DeJesus, all right, Police Director Candido, who likes to violate my rights because he doesn't
Sir,
understand how
if you
sign
can
works.
address us.
Okay, absolutely.
Thank you.
I know that you guys make certain regulations to have Jackson Day, to have the beer and wine garden. Do you also allow, when you make that exemption, do you also exempt smoking from the park on that day?
Sir, I'm going to write down your questions, and I'm going to get back to you.
Okay, so we don't know. All right, I'd also, if you can, when you get back to me, let me know what day it is that you had, this resolution, so this way I can go back and look at the recording, see what day it was. Next, Chief Shoal Drive over by the Justice Complex. That does not meet the ADA, and it confuses the police officers into violating First Amendment rights, and they're not really smart. And I think that this town has had enough, dealings with federal court, but they just earn a few more, because what the hell? The cops don't care. They're not paying for it. This time they are, because they were warned, and their qualified immunity went bye-bye. All right, but Chief Shoal Drive must be opened in its entirety to pedestrians and clarified with the police department so that another citizen or myself, when I go back there tomorrow, doesn't have to fear arrest or fear that they're going to be cited because the police don't understand the law. You had 6 officers at my house the other night for 53 minutes waiting for me while I was in ShopRite to deliver a ticket and then try and litigate why it is that the police are above paying for tolls and running red light cameras, speed enforcement through photo radar, the window tints. All right, I've had the Police Director Candido lie to me, tell me that the cars that I'm talking about are not officers' vehicles. And then he also goes on to tell me, on film, by the way, which is one of the questions I asked, how do I get that film entered onto the record? He tells me that the Jackson Police Department regularly takes impounded cars and use them for undercover investigatory purposes or to use as personal vehicles to go back and forth to their duty. What is that? That's theft. We have cops stealing. We have town council members stealing. We have police, civilian employees stealing. It is the stupidest, lowest form of public corruption. But it is theft and it is corruption, and there will be charges filed because when I sent that thing out, this guy went in on Monday and ordered cops that were not there, Cops that did not witness these violations, which they are legally required to witness, because they weren't in the station when this all went down. They went and he ordered them to go look at the video and say, okay, we saw it, write him the ticket, and let's go send officers there. 53 minutes, 6 officers sitting there for a ticket what's tantamount to a leash law, which this guy doesn't understand, because I asked the council.
Thank you, sir. Unfortunately, your time's up.
Have a great night,
I will see you
everyone.
at the next meeting. I'm going to speak, but your time is up. I'm going to let you know that the email that you were referring to, nobody got it. I got it. Director Candido did not get it because you had the email address wrong. You had Township. You did not have nj.net, so therefore, he did not get your email. In
Okay.
regards to what did you say, my parking, whatever I'm doing?
Your vehicle.
Oh, yeah, my vehicle. So my Easy Pass is in my car. It's a little one because I don't want the one that's on the front. So I think that's the only thing.
Why do you have the license plate cover
I'm
on
not
your
answering
car?
you. I'm-
It's
I'm
illegal.
answering your question.
All right, I'll tell you what, it doesn't
Thank
matter
you.
why you
Thank
have
you,
it, it's
sir.
illegal.
Thank you, sir. Have a
You're
great night.
welcome.
I wish you well. Thank you. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Giuseppe Palmieri. I am a Jackson resident. I would like to thank the Jackson Township Council for implementing measures to curb overdevelopment. The road infrastructure near Adventure Crossing cannot sustain the addition of 1,000 homes. I unequivocally support efforts to limit overdevelopment. I would also like to thank the Jackson Police Department for everything they do each and every day to keep us safe, especially their traffic safety divisions. Their tireless work and efforts do not go unnoticed, so thank you.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm feeling the recording of a private citizen in this meeting is inappropriate. I think that should, is that? Okay, sir, I've just been advised by the attorney you are allowed to record it. You just have to let us know ahead of time. So if you would like to record in here at the following meeting, I'm going to advise to the attorney. Okay. You're out of order, sir. Sir, you're out of order. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's it. You're out. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Sorry, gentlemen. Come on.
My name is Paul Riviere. I live on 1009 West Commodore. All right, I'm here to bring to your attention a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. industrial excavation in a 4,000 square foot maintenance facility that is being proposed for 1007 West Commodore Boulevard. This is right next to my house. I just spent several hundred thousands of dollars to build a house in a highway commercial R3 area. I relied on the zoning, R3 and HC zoning. I would have never built that house if I knew that a 6 a.m., 6 p.m. industrial excavation and maintenance facility could be located there. The property was approved as a shopping center about 10, 11 years ago, and it was sold without development. AVE Partners, the applicant, purchased the property, and for reasons unknown to me, AVE Partners was confident that it could put a 6 a.m., 6 p.m. industrial construction yard with a maintenance facility and a fueling facility there. Some of the equipment these construction yards have, which are all industrial, are tracked excavators, wheeled earth movers, dump trucks, milling machines, backhoes, and fueling tanks. These industrial sites cause noise, pollution, air pollution, vibration, dust pollution, and toxic liquids leaking into the soil. The site is located right south of the Jackson Outlet entrance on 571. That's a main entrance into Jackson. people from all over will get an impression of what Jackson's all about if they see an industrial site plopped in the middle of an R3 highway commercial area. And an industrial site usually is required to have transition zones and buffering. This application has none. Generally, it's going to be an ugly facility in the middle of an R3 commercial area. Also, the road this plan adjoins is only 30 feet wide. And the engineer making the application has admitted that it takes 40 to 50 feet for a 50 to 60 foot rig to make a right-hand turn off the site. I have personally witnessed AVE partners remove heavy equipment from the site, and even when the rig started at a 45-degree angle, not a 90, it had to cross the road and almost hit the barrier. I personally witnessed that. And I don't think this application plan has been reviewed by the public safety officer. Okay. I feel like I've been the reason I'm bringing this to you, because you guys, this council, is in charge of the zoning board. You're the ones who appoint the zoning board members. I feel like I've been overly restricted in presenting my case to the zoning board, especially when I'm trying to say, hey, listen, you see that driveway? It's a right-angle driveway, and a 50 or 60 rig truck can't even make it on a 30-foot road. And I was basically shut down. There's no reason for the zoning board to approve this. If it is approved, it'll be a permanent eyesore for Jackson Township. And the people of Jackson Township will have to look at it every day as they come in and out of town. I want to remind you that this is an existing R3. You can't see the homes because there's like a 30-foot buffer between the road and the homes, so you can't see them of woods. But they're there, and they're only like maybe 500 feet from where the maintenance garage is going to be. I don't think most of the people even know about this.
I'm sorry, sir, your time
Okay,
is up.
thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night. Get home safe. Can we let Mr. Palmieri, did you want to finish? You're good? Okay. Sorry, sir.
Eleanor Hannum, Jackson, New Jersey. I just want to note about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I did lose my mother to metastatic cancer at the age of 24. And on another note related to the driving, approximately 2 weeks ago, my granddaughter was riding her bike. My other two granddaughters were on the front lawn playing, and she almost got hit and killed by a car that decided to speed into the court in where she lives, only for this out-of-town driver to hurry up and drop off someone to that house. So it is really a major concern, because that driver didn't even make acknowledgement that this child had to jump off her bike to the side to avoid being killed. Disappointing. But what I'd like to really note is the fact that there seems to be some serious transparency issues within this administration. I OPA request all the time. Right now, I am waiting on an OPA request that the person who was to fulfill it still has not responded. So another 7-day extension. The second one doesn't exist, and that was for a strip mining operation in which I personally observed. The third was openly denied, and that one is really concerning. That OPA request was done on August 27th. It was to get the letter from the Pinelands Commission when it related to Ordinance 3023, to see if the Pinelands Commission had acknowledged and accepted Ordinance 3023 from last December. I waited a month. It was stalled every 7 days, until it was finally denied last week by the attorney. What was not disclosed was I had already spoken to the Pinelands Commission, and I Oprah requested it from them on September 5th, and I received it 2 days later. So again, I don't know what's being hidden by this administration that the people that you don't want the people to know. But we do have other ways to get our information, and denying such things is a lie. The denial statute that was given went directly to a statute with a list of definitions, not the specific statute that was required. When we go down the road to other transparency issues, fair share housing. I'm pretty well versed with fair share housing. I went toe-to-toe with them when I fought the Jackson Park project. I find it very interesting and peculiar that we are fast-tracking the master plan. And in conjunction, we're hiring CME to hurry up and fast-track our accommodation or whatever our requirements are without the state actually giving us our numbers. So instead, it appears that negotiations are being made behind closed doors, behind the backs of the residents, to accommodate developers. Because what most don't know is once that contract is written, they're actually writing that piece of property into it. There is no fighting. So I'm highly aware of this, this situation. So when we go down the road of transparency, I believe that the residents have the right to know what is going on here. We have the right to know where we are with this master plan. And the reason why it's being fast-tracked, because in my conversation with the Pinelands Commission, Jackson was told in January, actually January 16th to be exact, that they did not meet the requirements of the comprehensive plan. And they have given you adequate time to fix and rewrite ordinances to fix the 3024 ordinance. So what appears to me is that we're fast-tracking a master plan for the Pinelands region where you're going to make the fix so that the residents don't find out that you're really screwed up to begin with. Because these issues that are in here, I hired Michelle Donato. She went through it. She gave me her observation and what she found. And then she gave me the questions. Those questions were put on the record December 13th, 2023. And you still approved it. So I'd like to know
Thank
why
you,
you're
ma'am. Your time is up.
fast-tracking everything and hiding it from the people.
Have a great night. Thank you.
You too.
Jim Seleckia. I heard tonight from multiple members here how you're happy about the traffic changes that are happening and the ordinance to reduce the construction that's going on. My comments tonight are going to be the construction that has happened, okay? And what do I mean by that? Is this town has never put the infrastructure that has been needed for some of the buildings that we've put up. For instance, and this is last week being Rosh Hashanah, driving along Hyson Road to watch 50 carriages cross over Hyson Road to get to where they were going for their celebration, in the middle of the road, where there's no crosswalk, there's nothing. Along Hyson Road, where cars are flying down that road, we allowed this thing to be built and not put the proper controls in place. There's another one that's been approved, also on Hyson Road, that they can't put a crosswalk in because it's only an intersection that has two roads, or two corners, and they can't cross, they can't put a crosswalk to cross over. But that's where a lot of the people are going to be coming from. So we need to figure out in this town how we're going to not only reduce things, but also keep people safe on what we are currently building. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
See,
Vito Cardinale, developer, Adventure Crossings, partner, taxpayer, millions of dollars to the town of Jackson. Not once did I have the decency to have somebody pick up the phone and ask me a question about what is going on and what you're doing since August. Not once. Did anyone really believe all the rumors that Adventure was closing down, that we were going to not do a MS Center? Not only are we going to do an MS Center, but we're building a school and bought more property on the other side of Six Flags so that we could put more commercial on our project. Not once did somebody have the respect and the decency to just ask a question. If I want to put a sign up, I have to get a permit. If you want to put a sign up for a political event, you put it on my lawn. If I have to build a building, I have to ask you permission. And then you grant it or don't grant it. But if you want to change a rule, you just do it. I think we did that to the American Indians. How'd that work out? You just can't decide to change a piece of property zone because you believe it's politically going to hurt your agenda. I am building a project to help people all over the world. I've already built in this town. I've already received awards for the buildings that I put in this town. I employ people in this town, and I live next door. Tell me what we've done wrong for you to come in and just change our zone on a piece of property that we own. No, I'm not building 3,000 homes. All we're going to build is what we were approved for. No, I'm not dropping the MS Center. It's going to be bigger and better. No, we're not removing the commercial. We have more than what we originally got approved for. So are you basing all of this on rumors and don't have the respect and the decency to just call up, pick up the phone and ask? Everything that you are aligning yourself up with is to destroy commercial, rateable, on a road that doesn't have schools or children on. It was the vision of the mayor and I many years ago to make 537 a beautiful corridor with a company called Six Flags Great Adventure. Have some decency and respect for the American way. We lost men and women in other countries for the right to do the right thing. And look at what you're doing. You're coming in as the government and changing the zone of a piece of property because it's going to hurt your political career. Snap out of it. We're building the greatest project in this town. We're going to employ thousands of people, and we're not going to hurt anybody. But you will. You will destroy a rateable and hurt all those small businesses that are going to go out of business because they don't have a residential component to buy. Think about it. Think about what you're doing. You're absolutely 150% not in the right here because you don't know the facts. Pick up the phone and call us. Give us the decency and the respect that we deserve as Americans. This is no third world country out here.
Thank you, sir.
seeing no one come forward, make a motion to close public comment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.